Here on this week's TESPN podcast by a couple of sophomore girls basketball players, Vie Updike and Farrah Berry, and just welcome, guys. Great to have you all.
Thank you. Thanks.
So, like I said, both of you guys are sophomores, so not necessarily captains yet, but also as guards have the ball in your hands a lot. I do feel like you all are team leaders, along certainly with seniors Sophie Dolan and Addison Wynn. How do you all view being a leader on the court despite being an underclassman?
I think just because we're like point guards and guards, we have to call out the plays. We gotta bring up the energy. I mean, especially like on defense, like let's go tight on D and stuff. So I think from that atmosphere, we'll definitely bring up the energy, and everyone will get like more involved in the game. And from that, we can be like shown as leaders.
Yeah, I agree. I think as point guards, you're supposed to be a leader on the floor anyway. So it's just kind of an extension of that. And especially with me out last year, I really had to focus on being like a cheerleader for the team and really hyping everyone up. So I think that just flows back into this year.
Yeah, for sure.
So with you guys having a really good season this year, compared to last year, what do you think this year has been like the main different key factor if you guys are doing really good?
I think that we have, with keeping the same team, since we didn't really have any seniors last year, I think we all already kind of knew each other, and we were able to kind of come off last year and start there and just keep going.
Yeah.
So it's just like a general progression, and it just keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, we have a young team. This year we have 2 seniors, and last year we didn't have any, so we're growing like as we know each other more often. And basically, we're going together, and we're going to build up like together as a team, and we've definitely improved from last year greatly.
Yeah, just to underscore that, I mean, I think last year the girls basketball team went about, I think, was it three wins and a lot of losses, like 3 and maybe 20. And frankly, a lot of those losses were not close. But this year, you guys are almost have an even record right now. I think it's 6 and 8. But even of those 8 losses, most of those games have been competitive, and you went into the fourth quarter having a chance. So I think it's a big credit to you all. I think it's a big credit to those senior leaders who we mentioned, and also having Farrah able to play again this year has made a big difference. Because for folks who don't know, you tore your ACL the first quarter of the first game last year, correct?
It was the third quarter.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I did play a little, but
so you got a full half in.
I got a full half in.
And can you just talk about going through what you did? Obviously, you love basketball. I'm sure you were so excited to play your first high school season, and then to go down in your first game and have that opportunity robbed from you through your freshman year, and just what it was like going through the rehabilitation process and physical therapy. And as everyone knows, when you come back from injury, it's not always a linear progression, right? It's like you start to get better and then you have a setback. And just what was your mindset through all of that, and maybe what are some lessons that you learned?
Yeah, that was really hard for me because because of COVID, I hadn't really played a basketball game since maybe the February before COVID happened. So that February.
You were what, in like 6th grade?
I was in 7th grade. Yeah. So I had just come off of my 7th grade basketball season, and I started playing AAU. And then everything had to stop. So I was really excited just to actually play in a game. Like that was like the first thing. And then when you add that, you're a freshman and you're on a varsity high school team, and it just adds. And I was just super hyped. And when I actually tore my ACL and meniscus, I didn't think I did, because I didn't hear a pop. I didn't feel anything. I thought maybe it was just like a small sprain or something. And the day after, we got an MRI and learned that I had torn my ACL. And so I didn't realize how much of a process that was. So I had surgery about 6 weeks later because my knee just wouldn't stop swelling. So I had to wait a bit longer to have surgery. And then when I did have surgery, my whole leg was paralyzed for like 3 days. So I couldn't move my toes. I had surgery on Monday, I couldn't move my toes until Thursday night. So, I mean, that was kind of scary, and, you know, having to learn how to remove, and even, like, I still do my stretches and, like, strengthening programs to this day, trying to get my leg all the way back, and it was scary that first month after surgery, especially when I had to go to the hospital because they thought I had a blood clot in my leg.
Wow.
Luckily, it wasn't anything. I just had hematoma. But that first month was rough, and it took me back about 3 weeks in my schedule. So I kind of had to start all over with my rehab. But after that, everything kind of went a bit more smoothly, and I started doing strength training and return to sports. And I still have to do strength training and return to sports to this day, even though I'm cleared. Still need to make sure I work up all my muscles because I had a hamstring graft, so they took muscle out of my body. So I have to repair that muscle and get everything straightened back up.
Well, I will say, looking on the bright side, because
Yeah.
that's all, like, you know, you had some dark days there, and athletes who've been through that will understand, but it seems like even though an ACL tear and meniscus is a terrible injury to have, it seems like you even had it slightly worse than the average one, which is bad to begin with. But on the brighter side, first thing is, you know, thank goodness we live in a time now when they have some of those medical procedures, because if that same injury happened 30, 40 years ago, you might never play again. But then the other bright side I was going to say is now you are back on the court and you are contributing. And just, could you talk, Farrah, a little bit about how it feels to be back out there playing and helping your team compete?
It's so exciting. Like, my first game, even though it was away and it wasn't here in Estes, I was just so excited to get back on the court. And, you know, there's always, with ACL tears or any injury really, there's always that little voice in the back of your mind like, hey, are you sure you're ready for this? Mm-hmm. And so, like, you're never ready for anything, really. And so, it's like sometimes you just have to go out there and just do it. So that was kind of my mindset, and I think I did well in that game, and I have, even from that first game to now, I can see myself as a better player.
Yeah, for sure. And I seem to recall that after you got cleared to play, the first several games were all away, and we were broadcasting your first home game. I'm actually trying to remember who the opponent was. I think it was it St. Catherine's?
It might have been.
And so I remember at a point in the broadcast, I think you scored, and it actually just dawned on me in that moment. I was like, I think that's actually the first in-game basket that Farrah has scored in Estes, because the game you got hurt last year was away. Right. Then all your first 4 or 5 games this year were after you were cleared were away because you weren't playing yet at Travis tournament. And it was like kind of crazy to me because I was thinking it's like mid-January of your sophomore year, and that's the first time you'd ever actually gotten to play a home game. But it's great to hear that you're doing so much better now, and everyone's enjoying watching you. And then Vie, I wanted to ask you on a totally different note. You are honestly, in the whole Trinity athletics community, male or female, probably one of the most successful 3-sport athletes. You've been at the top or near the top of the tennis ladder in the fall, a starter from 9th and 10th grade in basketball, a starter as a 9th grader, and hopefully again this year in the spring in soccer. So, I mean, you play 3 sports at a high level. Can you just talk a little bit about what it's like to juggle those, and then maybe for a follow-up question, what's your favorite thing about each one?
Yeah, so I mean, definitely it can be a struggle at times. I mean, like academics, athletics, like practices after school, games like every week. I mean, even sometimes games on weekends, like it can be a struggle. I think one of the things I had to grow upon from middle school to high school is time management between like classes, homework, like studying, like anything like that. It's definitely, it can be a struggle to us sometimes, but I think like even like last year, I kind of got like my routine. I kind of got like the handle of how like practices go like after school or late practices for basketball. I mean, it's something that you can adjust to, definitely. I mean, I personally, like, I love it. Like, I have been playing sports since middle school and lower school. Like, sports has been a part of me for almost my entire life. And so.
And you play with a smile on your face. Like,
Yeah.
you can tell that you are happy to be out there and moving around. And then, just quickly from tennis, basketball, soccer,
Mm-hmm.
can you speak on what's your favorite thing about each of those?
Yeah, I'd say tennis, definitely, like, the team as a whole, like, how we're so, like, together, like, in sync. We've had, like, team dinners, just, like, even, like, getting, like, dinner, like, after a match or something like that. I definitely love that environment, the atmosphere, even if it's off campus. That's definitely, like, something that we've, like, talked about, like, how, like, the difference is, even if it would be here. But I definitely, like, love how, like, we're together, we carpool to practices and stuff like that. I definitely like that part of it. Basketball, I mean, I like how even if girls basketball isn't, like, the strongest, like, student section and, like, a lot of, like, people, and how basically how it's not, like, the biggest environment, we still are, like, compact. Like, we've been like what we were saying, like, the improvement that we've had since last year, definitely, like, our passes, our cuts, our everything is just, like, improving a lot. Like, even our, like, just kind of, like, connection, because even if we see a handoff or a backdoor cut, we can show that, and, like, we can see that. I think that's definitely, like, improved a lot, and I'm super grateful for. And then soccer, I mean, I just love how we're, like, so connected, and basically the team atmosphere, just like tennis. I mean, soccer, you do practices together, games together, working out together, like, runs together, like, everything like that. I think it's just all great.
And soccer last spring did actually get several big student sections
Yeah.
as well. So that had to be
super exciting.
I know they were fun games to coach, so I can only imagine how fun they were to play in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So talking about team morale for both of you guys, how do you feel like these are some of your favorite memories so far for the season have been?
Let's see. I think that first win in the Travis tournament, even though I didn't play, I feel like that win changed the mindset of this team this year, because after our first loss, I feel like everyone was really down. Like, oh, this is going to be like last season where we just can't get there. And after that first win, you could just see the elation on everyone's faces, and people were, I think, almost relieved that, hey, we can do this. We're gonna get past last year, and obviously, like, for me, that first game, even though it wasn't, I wouldn't say it's my best game this season, but I think that first game was just my own personal, like, best part of the season.
Yeah, I mean, definitely adding on to Farrah, after that loss, I think we all had the mindset of, let's not repeat last year. And I think that's hit, like, everyone. And we were all, like, saying, like, let's go, like, we can be better. And even Coach Adam London was saying, like, at the beginning of our, like, first week of practice, he was like, we can already see the improvement of last year. We're starting where we ended off last year.
Yeah, I agree. And you can see it, in my opinion, in the games I've seen. I haven't seen every game, but in a couple ways. One is a very basketball-specific thing, which is you all this year are, for the most part, most possessions, getting good shots. Whereas last year, sometimes y'all would go through spells where it was just turnover. You weren't even getting the ball toward the basket. And this year, I feel like y'all are able to get good shots, which gives you a chance. You have to shoot to have a chance.
Right.
But then in more of an intangible way, you can see everyone competing until there's zeros on the clock. And I do think last year sometimes, just body language wise, you could see the game was over well before it was actually over.
Right.
Where there was just a lack of belief and hope. And so I think that's a real credit to everyone on the team and the coaching staff. All right, let's end it with a quick lightning round. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to ask, but just quick questions. First thing that pops in your head. V, we'll start with you, then go to Farrah. All right, let's start with favorite pregame meal.
Probably pasta and salad.
Apples. I can't eat a lot before a game.
Who is your favorite athlete? Like, famous athlete that you maybe look up to?
Probably one of them is Serena Williams.
Yeah, basketball-wise, mine is Allen Iverson.
love Allen Iverson. He's one of my all-time favorite players. I like that answer. I have much love for Serena as well. Pre-game like hype song.
Ooh, any Pitbull song.
I'm an old soul. Any like 80s pop.
Who is the funniest person on the girls basketball team?
Probably Lily.
That's a good one. I was thinking Addie.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of different ways to take this, but who would you say is your toughest opponent?
Like team-wise or person?
Take it however you want.
Team, I would probably say right now during this season, St. Catherine's. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there.
I would say Stab, especially like in Trinity basketball histories.
And what's your favorite class at Trinity?
History with you, Mr. Hamlin.
Unfortunately, I haven't had history with you. But any math class.
And if you could live anywhere in the world, you had as much money to live, your just dream place to live.
Either Europe or the Bahamas.
New Zealand.
All right, let's end it with a good one. I don't know what I'm going to ask yet. How about you all both bring a lot of wisdom, particularly for people who are just 10th graders. So what would be advice that you would give to like an 8th grader on how to approach high school athletics and academics?
First, I would say definitely like keep an open mind and like try new things as much as possible. And I think basketball-wise, work super hard in practice, like show your interest, and definitely like play your heart out.
For everything, academics, athletics, anything else you want to do, just don't be afraid to like do risks and do things that are hard for you to do, because that's the only way you can grow and get better.
That's fantastic advice. So absolute pleasure, and I just want to end with a quick editorial comment to praise these two student athletes. I've had the privilege to teach and coach Vie, and she also helped me work. She helped work the basketball camp that I did for younger kids, and just always does everything with a smile on her face. Super coachable, amazing teammate, great student, and just an all-around amazing person. And Farrah, I don't know as well, but just watching the way that she attacked what could have been a really pretty tragic setback, and you heard it a few minutes ago with everything she went through with her knee and the blood clot and just the setback and having to start from ground zero, and the way that she continued to have maturity and attack that, and is now back out there doing a great job and also a great leader in our school community. Watch these two as they've progressed through Trinity, because they're amazing role models and student athletes, and I'm just so glad that you all are both part of Titan Nation. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, here with my man Silvio Troy.
Yeah.
TESPN fans have heard Silvio's voice for 2 years on football broadcast, but this is your first podcast, right? So welcome, Silvio. Thrilled to have you, Junior. So let's talk about how Trinity Athletics has been going these last couple weeks. Basketball, boys side is 11th in the state, record of, I believe it's 11 wins and 6 losses. And as we film this, big game tonight against Collegiate, and 3 big games next week, Fork Union, Benedictine, and St. Christopher's. So really interested to see if they can get back in the state tournament. 12 teams make it. We're currently tied for 11th, so right in the bubble. But I think these next couple weeks will go a long way. Girls basketball, we heard from Farrah and Vie. That was great. They're sitting at 6 and 8, and I believe they're 10th in the state. So a good chance to make the state tournament for the first time since before COVID, which would be awesome. Track, we got a bunch of athletes setting school records and making state cuts. And then as we film this, the Prep League LIS swim and dive meet is about to take place starting today and going into tomorrow. So excited to see how they do. But Sylvia, I wanted to ask you, give us an athlete or two that have really stood out to you in recent weeks in the Titan athletic world.
So I guess to talk about track, I definitely think, the Verson sisters, the Lee Verson, Lucy Verson, they've done really good. Lily with her long jump, she's one of the best, female track athletes I think we have on the whole team. And Lucy being a really good rookie running the relay with her, I think overall they make a really good addition to the team there.
For sure. And if you're watching this and want to hear more from Lily Verson, we interviewed her on the winter track season preview, which if you found this, you can find that on our YouTube page. Lily was really a good interview, really mature and thoughtful young lady. And I wanted to say it's kind of a double Rookie of the Week and Athlete of the Week for the duo of Ben Blair and Cooper Gardner. So they've both joined diving. So these are two of our offensive linemen from football. I don't know their exact weights, but I'm pretty sure they're both weighing in at 250 plus. Ben was joking with me about like they may break the diving board from jumping on it, but they both are diving and they're both part of track and field, throwing the shot put. So that's pretty cool. That these guys who are better known as football players are actually currently involved in two winter sports, not on the football field. So that's exciting to see. Well, Silvio, any final thoughts from you before we wrap this thing up?
Not really. I think, the people you talked about, I know Cooper's pretty close to reaching that indoor shot record, and I know Ben just made qualifiers for states for dives, and I think, our athletes are doing great this season. Yeah,
and those guys are both have been around Trinity for a while, are both juniors, but they Ben's a senior, my bad. I wish he was a junior. But they're rookies on the dive team, so that's why they qualify for that. And then, just for fans of TESPN, we've got a bunch of basketball broadcasts coming up. Tonight, we have collegiate. By the time you see this, that may have already happened. But then next week, we've got girls and boys basketball doubleheader on Thursday, St. Gertrude and Benedictine. And then the following week, boys have Woodbury Forest and Stab, two of the top teams in the state. So a lot of basketball broadcasts to come. How cool is it, by the way, Vie and Farrah, just your reflections on that interview?
Yeah, I thought Farrah's story was really, deep dived, and then she gave a lot of personal answers that was, really great for her. She's done a lot, and Vie, very big athlete. Didn't know she did so much with the whole three sports.
Yeah, both just incredible maturity from a couple of sophomores, so it was really, really fun to hear from them. Well, thanks everyone who joined us. Appreciate all y'all who watch. Love all the feedback and comments that I get. Really, we enjoy doing this. Glad to have Silvio on.
Thank you.
Hopefully he'll be on again, and we'll see you next time.